everyone. Welcome on in. I'm Velvet. Thanks for joining me today for an exquisitely enchanted build. We are in The Sims 4 and we are building an adorable little toadstool cottage in the beautiful treehouse lot in Innis Green, which is the new world that came out with the Enchanted by Nature pack. This lot is so cool. It's a tree. It's like on a tree. I mean, we've never had a lot like that before in the game, and as soon as I saw this lot, it was the first lot I actually loaded into in the game, and I got hyped by it. I just saw it was on a tree, and I was just like, whoa, mama. So I am excited that I get to build on this lot today, and I don't know. I saw this really adorable inspiration online. I was just kind of looking for some fairy cottage ideas, and I saw this cute little like toadstooly type one. It had like this big tree on the top of it as well, and I did try it with a tree on it, but it just looked kind of weird. So I used the tree, but I kept the toadstools. So yeah, I like grabbed all these beautiful red glowy toadstools that you get in the debug menu or the debug section of Enchanted by Nature. So it's not like something you can just see in the game. You kind of need to use those debug cheats to be able to access them, but they glow at night and they are super adorable and super cute. And yeah, it's a 20 by 20 lot, so it's not the biggest lot, but that was kind of perfect for me because I didn't want to do like this huge build. I just felt like a cute little cozy cottagey style was going to be perfect for what I wanted to build, and I didn't really want a bigger lot than that. So I was absolutely delighted that I had this 20 by 20 lot to work with, that it was in the middle of the tree, and I had this cool design to kind of interpret in The Sims. And yeah, this build is the Enchanted by Nature and base game only, so there are no other packs with this build. This is it. It did end up being a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. So, you know, not too bad. It's like not super roomy. It's not the biggest house, but, you know, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. You can fit a little family in there. I didn't do a nursery for this one, so it's 2 double beds in here. But I feel like one of the bedrooms you could definitely convert to a nursery if you wanted to as well. So, yeah, very easy to convert, I feel like. And the bottom of the house is kind of an open plan. It didn't really warrant having like a whole lot of different rooms because it's just so small. So I just did like a little open plan living, dining, and kitchen, although the living is kind of separated off from the kitchen and dining just because of the decorations that I did in there. So yeah, now there is something very important I need to talk to you guys about here. If you are planning on ever using or doing something like this with the toadstools on the roof and around the roof, just something that I have learned through, I guess, a variety of different builds over my time as a builder in The Sims 4. The things like the toadstools, because they're a debug item, something you do need to be wary of is the grids on the bottom of them. I can't think of the word that I need for that, but the little toadstools, they have a grid on the bottom, and that's the space that they use up, right? So just be aware that sometimes with debug items, that does mean that the Sims will not go through them. And you need to be careful about how you place them, because it means that you will get a sort of a routing issue with the Sims getting around their house. If, like, for example, the toadstool up the top, one of the toadstools up the top did actually cause me a routing issue. And I was aware of this as I was building it, that, you know, sometimes these debug items do block the Sims from basically walking around them just because of the way that the grids and stuff, the little grid squares on the bottom work. So you do need to be very careful about how you use them and where you use them. So, I mean, it was just a matter of me just sliding it over a little bit, and then, you know, it was okay because the Sim wasn't going up the stairs to the 3rd level was basically the problem. And it was just a matter of me sliding over that toadstool that was up on the 2nd level that was blocking the stairs going up to the 3rd level, just because the grid was slightly over on the stairs, and it was just a little tweak and it was fine. But I think if you haven't really built with these sort of the debug items like this before, Some of those landscaping debug items do block routing, so it may cause some issues. So just be careful with them. Have a sim on the lot so that you can play test going up and down stairs or going into those spaces where you might think it's, oh, will this block it? I've had the same issue happen before with debug plants, like underneath stairs and underneath balconies and stuff like that. So I have come across this in a variety of different builds in different situations. So I was conscious of it as I was placing those toadstools, and that it wouldn't actually block the way. So yeah, if you are planning on doing something like this, just be aware debug will sometimes block the way. That was a long-winded way of saying that, but anyway, I wanted to make that clear. So gotta be careful with it. So I did build this. I like how I kind of built this big chimney, and then I was just like looking at the house. I'm just like, why is this chimney so giant? It does not have to be so giant. Bye. And I got rid of the big fat wide column of a chimney, and I just made it into a thin column, and it just looks so much better. The funny thing is, I built all the insides, and then I realized I hadn't put a fireplace in there either. So I'm not sure if I put it in on camera or off camera at the end when I realized it, but I did end up, I'm pretty certain, putting a fireplace in there because it was something that I like to do. If I put a chimney on a house, I like to put a fireplace in there because I feel like, that makes sense, right? I'm really, really hoping that I put a fireplace in there now. I'm pretty certain I did, like on the wall. I'm sure I did. Anyway, what I'm doing at the moment is just adding some of the roofing plants around the place, and now I'm adding the lighting on the exterior. What I'm really liking doing at the moment with these Enchanted by Nature builds is using the little wall lights that we got and using it under foliage just to brighten up that, and then these little base game sort of flower lights on the exterior are really great for just lighting up the exterior as well. I do like to consider lighting on the outside for nighttime because, the Sims don't just venture around during the daytime. They do venture out at night. So I like to light up the outside areas where I can, with just a little bit more lighting than they might otherwise have, just so they can maybe see what they're doing and what they're up to. And while I was doing this, I was just kind of adding to the landscaping as well, just forgetting I was kind of building in the dark, but I feel like hopefully you guys can see that okay. So I'm just adding the last bits and pieces to the exterior because there's a little couple of balconies, but not too much. And again, just using some more ivy up the walls. I love that curling ivy on the exterior. It's just really quite lovely. And again, I think I will put some more of that, that lighting underneath it as well, just to glow it up at nighttime. It does actually really make it quite pretty at nighttime. And when you add in the little glowing toadstools, I mean, do you call them toadstools or mushrooms? Because anything, like if it's a red one like that, I always just in my brain consider it to be a toadstool. But it could also be a mushroom because sometimes you find red mushrooms. And then like there's other coloured mushrooms that come in debug as well. So it's not just relegated to being red. But I also call them, I just think red spotty toadstool. That's just my association with red spotted mushroomy type things, toadstools. And it doesn't really matter. It's just a name, right? I don't know. I'm not a fungi expert and I'm not claiming to be. So my apologies to the toadstool and or the mushroom community if I did get that wrong. And I'm pretty certain I probably did. So this is the first of the bathrooms. So this is the bathroom on the second floor. And on the second floor, we have a bathroom, a bedroom, and just like a little sitting area. I did end up adding a computer as well as, I'm just going to think, nature press. I think I had a table with a nature press. Yes, I did. So we had both in there. So that should give you like plenty of activities and well as the apothecary table. So I felt, because I wanted to make sure there was some skill building and some hobby stuff in here to do in this house as well. Like it's not just decorative. It should be pretty functional as well. I did play test it, so you should be able to use it as a home. As well as, maybe, grow up your skills, do some hobby stuff, make some money from your hobbies. You have to do some stuff in here, I reckon. I was going to say something. Now I forgot about what it was. It was relevant. Oh, yeah. The other thing was, just with fairies, you don't actually need a lot of this stuff. Like, you could have a fairy house, right? because of the way the fairies are set up in the game, you don't really technically need a bathroom or a bed. Do you need a bed? I don't think so. I don't think you need a... I'm just trying to remember. I don't think you need a bathroom, a bed, or... You definitely need a... No. You do need a bathroom because of the hygiene side of things. I was just thinking going to the bathroom, the toilet. You don't technically need a toilet, and you don't technically need a kitchen, and you don't technically need a bed. You could just have a little fairy home, and you can restore all your needs that way if you're playing as a fairy. So there's actually quite a few needs that you don't even need to take care of. Needs to need. So that does make building full fairies quite interesting, but aesthetically, I just wanted to make the build as usable as I could for a variety of different sims. This isn't specifically, just for fairies, although this is set up for fairies as well. There is a little fairy home in the yard somewhere. So, if you wanted to use it for fairies, I mean, you can, and you got your hygiene stuff there. But if you wanted to have regular sims in there, and again, if you wanted to have the kids, obviously the kids don't have the full fairy or the occult skills. So, you'd still need some of that stuff, I think, for the kids as well. I haven't actually experimented with the fairy kids as yet, so I'm not quite sure how they set up, but I assume it's the same as other occults, that they don't actually gain the the fairy aspects of the emotion stuff until they get a little bit older. So you can sort of see what I meant earlier when I said the living room is kind of divided off from the kitchen and the dining area, because I've got that big bar back right in the middle of the lounge. I'm not using it as a bar back. I'm using it as a divider, a decorative divider, a large decorative divider, but a divider nonetheless. It's so pretty. I just love it. It's like this beautiful giant butterfly wing, and it's gorgeous. And there's just like a little tiny dining nook. I didn't go overboard with the dining table. It's a smaller space. I felt like it was going to be a bit of a push to get a bigger table in there, although technically I think I probably could have, but I thought the smaller one would probably work just as nicely. And I'm pretty certain on I'm going to say the right-hand wall, I added in a fireplace later. And I think I got rid of a window and added in a fireplace on that side. And there's the apothecary table and bits and pieces just about to go in on the other side there as well. Yes, and that nook there. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys to enjoy the tour. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit the subscription button down below, subscribe, and maybe even a like and a comment would be fantastic as well. I do appreciate every time that I get that on the channel, so thank you for your support. Have a great day, and I will catch you the next time around. Bye-bye.